Once upon a time, in a kingdom far, far away, there lived a kind-hearted princess named Snow White. She was as beautiful as her name, with hair as black as ebony, skin as white as snow, and lips as red as a rose. Thank you for your like, share and subscribe. Snow White lived in a grand castle with her wicked stepmother, the queen, who was filled with envy for Snow White's beauty. Every day, the queen would consult her magical mirror and ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The mirror always replied that the queen was fairest, until one day it proclaimed, "Snow White is the fairest of them all." Hearing this, the queen's heart filled with rage. Worrying that her beauty would no longer be unrivaled, she commanded her huntsman to take Snow White into the forest, and to never let her return. But the huntsman, being a kind man, could not bear to harm Snow White. Instead, he told her to flee and never look back. Snow White ran deep into the lush, mysterious forest, where she stumbled upon a quaint little cottage. Exhausted, she knocked on the door, but no one answered, so she decided to step inside. Everything was tiny and perfectly arranged. Inside, she found 7 little beds and decided to rest a while, for she was very tired. Little did she know, the cottage belonged to 7 dwarfs who worked in the diamond mines just beyond the forest. Their names were Doc, Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy, Bashful, Sneezy, and Dopey. Thank you for your subscribe our channel to join our community, to be the first who see our new stories. When they returned home that evening, they found Snow White asleep across their beds. She awoke with a start, but soon they all became fast friends. Snow White decided to stay with them, and take care of their cottage while they worked. Meanwhile, back at the castle, the wicked queen discovered that Snow White was still alive. Determined to get rid of her, she disguised herself as an old peddler woman, and visited the dwarf's cottage while they were away. She offered Snow White a shiny red apple. The moment Snow White took a bite, she fell into a deep magical sleep, a spell cast by the evil queen, which could only be broken by true love's kiss. The 7 dwarfs returned to find Snow White asleep, and realized the queen had tricked her. Heartbroken, they laid her in a glass coffin in a beautiful meadow, where they kept watch over her. Time passed, and one day, a handsome prince riding through the forest saw Snow White in the coffin. He was captivated by her beauty, and knelt down to kiss her softly. Thank you for your subscribe our channel to join our community, to be the first who see our new stories. To everyone's joy, Snow White awoke from her slumber, breaking the wicked queen's spell. Grateful and overjoyed, Snow White and the prince returned to his kingdom where they lived happily ever after. Meanwhile, the wicked queen, upon hearing that Snow White was alive and well, became so angry that her own rage consumed her, and she was never heard from again. As for Snow White, she never forgot the kindness of the 7 dwarfs who had taken her in during her time of need. Snow White's story reminds us all that kindness and friendship can overcome even the darkest magic. Thank you for your subscription.